and be glad in this day. God, we thank you for the leadership of the Hope County schools. God, we thank you for Psalms 91 and covering us. We thank you because there is no wink link as it relates to the Hope County Board of Education. God, we thank you because you have not let us down yet. We give you glory. We thank you for our leader, our superintendent. We thank you for his vision. We thank you for you giving him the vision. And thank you for the people following. God, we thank you because no one is sick among us. And we thank you because you're going to continue to protect us. And you're going to continue to cover us. In the name, God, we praise you and we bless you and we give you credence for everything that you have done. We thank you for never leaving us and never forsaking us. We thank you for the right decisions. Allow this board to make the right decisions, to dig deep and get an understanding what it is to make the right decisions for these students, for these teachers, for these administrators. And we give you glory. You are God and you are God alone. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. We will continue now, with our agenda, which is item 3 on there, which is Chairman's Report. I would just like to say at this time, thanks to all of our administrators, our superintendent administrators, and everyone for what you are continuing to do during this particular time that we're in.
Yes.
Each day I look forward to the updates that we get from Mr. Edwards and for his school visit to keep us updated on how things are going at each school. And also Mr. Paris for his update on transportation. I see sometimes he's having a little challenge there with bus drivers being out, but we just thank God that everything seems to be going well. It's limited to what we can do now, especially with traveling. But we just thank God for all of you and what you're continuing to do for our children. I just wanted to say that this morning. Do we have any other comment from any other board member? If not, we will continue with our agenda, which is item 4, is get an approval of our amended agenda that we have before us. May we get approve at this time?
Ms. Pickett?
Chair.
Chair? Okay.
Yes. This is Rosa?
Okay. I move that we approve the amended agenda for October the 13th, 2020.
Thank you. Did we get a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved. Okay, been moved by Ms. Rosa McCallum-McCray and second by Ms. Barbara Bowie that we approve our amended agenda that we have before us. Are there any questions? If none, all in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
This is Rosa.
Ms. Pickett, could we poll the board members so that we can get individual votes?
Yes. Mr. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. Bowie?
Aye.
McCallum-McCray?
Aye.
Ms. Maynard? Ms. Maynard? Oh, Ms. Maynard's not in. Okay. So the ayes have it. Any opposed, nay. So the ayes will have it.
And Ms. Pickett, your vote is yay?
And yes, I'm saying aye.
Thank you.
So yes, okay. So the ayes have it, and the approval of our amended agenda has been approved. Thank you so much. Next on our agenda is a spotlight on success, and at this time we turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Williamson.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chairman and members. We do have 3 items on the spotlight on success for this month. Item number 1 is we have once again recognized our finance department, who has been recognized by the Government Finance Officer Association of the United States. They are receiving the highest recognition for accounting and financial reporting. So hats off to our Chief Finance Officer, Ms. Chavis and her wonderful team for outstanding work in the area of accounting and financial reporting. Ms. Chavis, you want to say anything?
Just that this is our annual audit that we submit, like I said, on the national level. They review it for any findings they might have, and they report back to us. And in the findings for the areas they reported, all areas were proficient, and the findings they have report back on those within the next mission of our report for 2020. This was the 2019's financials that they reviewed. And it truly takes a team effort.
That's great. Congratulations. I would say, from the board, we would just say congratulations for the outstanding job you do, Ms. Chavis, you and your team.
And the departments, too.
Well, we'll see in a minute when we get our audit report if it aligns and validates.
From what I read, the part I read of it, I tell you. Yes.
Great, that's good news. Item number 2, please join me in recognizing our principals. We have an outstanding core of principals leading our buildings. October is National Principals Month. Jody has placed the pictures of our principals on the website, and so you can go and view that. The abstract that you read, Ms. Carol Marshall wrote that. She did an outstanding job, but we certainly appreciate our principals and their leadership. And so when you get the opportunity, please thank them and recognize them during this time of National Principals Month. And then item number 3 is Sandy Grove Elementary, our bulletin board, and they are recognizing super students at Sandy Grove Elementary. Madam Chairman and members, that concludes our spotlight on success for this morning.
Well, we thank you, Dr. Williams, for that, and we certainly do thank our principals, and we recognize them. They have been so thoughtful to us for gifts that we receive from them, from each school principal each year. I don't have any problems during the day when I get ready to go walking because I can just throw on any one of the T-shirts that they give us. So we really do appreciate what they do in their schools, and we congratulate each one of them. Okay, so we will move on then and to our consent agenda, item number 6. So, Dr. Williamson?
Need a motion.
May we get a motion? Has everyone read items 1 and 2 from our consent agenda?
This is Hank. I'll make a motion. We approve the consent agenda.
Okay. May we get a second?
This is Rosa, second.
Okay. It's been approved by Hank and second by, the motion made by Hank and second by Rosa that we approve our consent agenda. All in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye. So we will also get a poll. I will begin with saying aye. And Hank?
Aye.
Rosa?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
And Della. Does Della come in yet? Okay, if not. Any nays? I didn't hear of any. So ayes have it. The consent agenda has been approved. Next on the item, we have our action item. And at this time, we turned over to our superintendent.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chairman and members. We do have 2 action items for this morning. Item number 1, our audit report. Let me ask Dale Smith if he would share that with us. Dale?
Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hope all of you are doing well today. Has everyone everyone's got an electronic copy of the June 30th, 2020 audit report?
Yes.
Copy.
Yes. We got a copy.
All right. I know it's fairly lengthy, so I don't plan to go through every page in it. I think every year I like to point out that there are 4 audit opinion letters that are included within the report. One of those letters pertains to the numbers in the report, And we're very happy to report that we feel as though all of the numbers in the report are reliable and free from any kind of material misstatements. And then there's 3 compliance letters that are toward the back of the audit report. And those 3 compliance letters primarily relate to the internal control testing that we're required to do and the testing of the state and federal grant funds that flows through the district. And again, happy to report that 3 of those letters are clean, unmodified reports, which basically means we had no findings, no question costs. We noted no inappropriate expenditures or any kind of significant internal control related issues during our audit. So these 4 letters are all clean reports, and they represent the highest level of assurance that a school district can receive in a financial statement audit. So again, I know that a lot goes into that, 1A's department, and then we also test major program areas like child nutrition, Title I. So all of those folks are doing their part, spending the money the way that they're supposed to. So it's definitely a team effort to not have any findings in your audit report. Now, there are a couple of pages I want to draw your attention to. If you would turn to page 11, and we'll look at the district's fund balance as of June 30th. Okay. And page 11 shows the balance sheet of the governmental funds. So this pretty much includes everything except child nutrition, and we'll look at the child nutrition fund on a separate page in a moment. Now we'll be focusing on the first column, which is your general fund. And at the top, you can see the general fund had cash at the end of the year of $1,617,753. And it had liabilities there in the middle of the page of $1,403,296. And the next to last number in that first column is the district's ending fund balance at June 30th, which was $470,096. And this represents a slight increase of about $3,000 over the amount that was reported in the prior year. And no fund balance has been appropriated to balance the fiscal year 2021 budget, which is good to see. And I think as we've mentioned the past several years, the district's fund balance is a little low for a district this size. So we do recommend that continued efforts be made to try to build up fund balance. And over the past 5 years, I think fund balance has been built up about $75,000. So, definitely efforts have been made, and that's great to see. I know y'all are one of the lowest funded districts in the state. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. So, I think y'all have done an outstanding job of stretching every dollar and providing the level of service that you provide, given the low level of that you're having to work with. I think that speaks very highly of management, of you as the board. Y'all have had years of stability in administration with 1A, Dr. Williamson, and even on the board. And I think that's played a big part in the district, being able to manage the budget so well and just continually, break even, just add a little bit each year. But anyway, were there any questions on this page before we move on?
None.
Okay. All right, let's turn over to page 57 and we'll look at the child nutrition program. And page 57 shows the revenues and the expenditures of this program for the year ended June 30th, 2020. And if you look about 3/4 of the way down, it's the last line that has 3 columns to it. It's the net change in fund balance line. In the middle column, that's the actual results for the year. You can see that this program basically added $1,481,954 to fund balance last year. And that represents an improvement of about $850,000 over the amount of profit reported in the previous year. So the program reported a profit of $632,000 in the year ended June 30th, 2019. So the program is doing really, really well. It wasn't that many years ago that we were talking about how the program was losing money and had fund balance of almost zero, and now it has really built cash back up, and especially this past year, adding almost $1.5 million. And the increase this year was primarily due to more USDA being received by the district. USDA reimbursements were up over 1.7 million from what was reported the previous year. I think with the COVID-19 shutdown in March, the program was allowed to serve children ages 0 to 18. And I think they were also allowed to serve a breakfast and lunch together every day, which I think a lot of times you struggle to get students to eat breakfast. So being able to give them that breakfast and lunch together ensured that you were able to get a reimbursable meal to all of the students for a breakfast and a lunch each day. So these factors together helped the district to be able to really increase the number of meals that were served, which drove up the USDA reimbursement revenue. Now, I know the program incurred a lot of additional costs for food, salaries and benefits, delivering the meals to students. And some of these costs were able to be offset by special state coronavirus supplemental funding that was received through DPI. And if you look at the line right above the line that we looked at, there's a line that says transfers from other funds. It shows revenue coming in at $347,717. The majority of that is the revenue that came in from the state for the coronavirus supplemental funding. Typically, you have around 45 to 50,000 of transfers in from the state, but this year you did have an additional amount because of that special funding the program received. The program had cash balances at year end of about 2.9 million, which is up about 1.4 million over the previous year. And I think another good thing is the program should be able to start paying indirect costs in this current fiscal 2021 year that you're in, which allow your local fund to be able to collect around $250,000 to $300,000 from the child nutrition program to cover administrative and other overhead expenses, such as utilities that the district provides to the program, and letting it operate in the different school sites. So again, overall, the program had a very good year and appears to be in very sound financial condition as of June 30th, 2020. Anyone have any questions on this page? All right.
No, I don't.
No. Okay, that was pretty much all I had planned to cover. The starting on page 59 of the report is the compliance section. And as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 letters that start with page 59 that relate to the compliance testing. And again, we do a lot of payroll and general disbursement testing and just testing other specific requirements of the state and federal government for the grants that the district receives. And again, all 3 of these letters are clean, unmodified reports. So, I mean, overall, we felt the audit went very, very well. We were pleased with what we saw from both a financial and compliance audit standpoint. And I'd like to just thank 1A and her staff for their hard work. Again, we're very demanding when we come in. There's a lot of information that we have to see, that they have to pull together for us, and they always do an excellent job of having things ready when we come in, and we really do appreciate that. Does anyone have any questions at all?
Mark, I'd like to thank you for your service. Greatly appreciated.
Well, we appreciate y'all, and 1A's got my phone number. I know if you ever read through the report and have a question, feel free to call me. 1A can get you in touch with me. I'd be happy to talk through any of this information with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Dr. Regional, did you have anything else to say concerning the report?
I did not, other than what we said. I appreciate Juanette and her team and the board and everyone for this outstanding report. I would ask approval of our audit report that was shared by Dale Smith, please.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent for approval of our audit report that's shared by Mr. Smith. May we get a motion on that?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve the audit report as shared by Dale Smith.
May we get a second?
Madam Chair, I second.
It's been moved by Mr. Richardson, second by Ms. Barbara Bowie, that we approve the audit report that's just been given by Mr. Dale Smith. Are there any questions? If none, all in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye, and we will poll our board. Beginning with myself, I'll say aye.
Barbara, aye.
Rosa, aye.
The ayes have it. All opposed say nay, but ayes have it. So the report, the audit report has been approved.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman and members. And again, we do say thank you for your support and your monitoring of our financial work. It is a challenge with just low funding to really make it work, but we do appreciate that. I will share with you, food service, we are adding a third freezer this year. In fact, it's in the process of being installed now. That would enable us to receive even more food that we can hopefully stay in the black with that. So we're thankful for that opportunity. Action item number 2, our pre-K through 5 Plan A opportunity. Let me recognize Dr. Dallas and ask her to share the plan. Once she completes that and we answer all questions, I will ask for your approval that pre-K through 5 move to Plan A. Dr. Dallas?
Good morning, Madam.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything either.
I don't either.
We can.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
That was my fault. I had to hear you.
As you remember, on September 17th, Governor Cooper did make an announcement that all North Carolina public school units could actually begin implementing Plan A for elementary schools. At that time, he said that public school units could begin that October 5th. It's important to remember that Plan A does include the important health and safety measures. However, it does not require schools to reduce the number of children in the classroom. If you remember, under Plan B, which is our current plan, it started off being at 50% capacity. Then it was changed to classroom space had to ensure 6 feet social distancing. That changes under Plan A. Plan A is the least restrictive plan, and it only requires the social distancing when students may congregate, such as in a hallway, reception areas, and restrooms. Also important to note that the governor has given the public school units the opportunity to stay and maintain the plan that best fits or best meets the needs of their community. We have met with our principals, continue to review our reentry plan and our Strong Schools NC document, and we have outlined what the components of Plan A, which is minimal social distancing, what that would look like for elementary. When we say elementary, we do include pre-K with that. Our technique to contact pre-K parents is we usually reach out to them directly and have those conversations with them, but this plan would include pre-K, so it's for pre-K 5. So just some factors for Plan A is, once again, all students may be in the school at the same time. There's no restrictions on that. We would continue the daily symptom screenings. That includes temperature screenings of any person who enters the building. We would continue with our face coverings for everyone, and that includes in the building, on buses, and anywhere on the school grounds. That does include outside. Our arrival and dismissal procedures would continue to limit congregation. Our parents and guardians would remain in the cars during these times. All of these are things that are currently in place under Plan B and would continue under Plan A. We will continue with frequent hand washing and sanitation breaks. This is one of the areas that's different, is the social distancing is only required where individuals may congregate. As we said before, such as in the hallway when they're lining up, the reception area, cafeterias, restrooms. So to help kind of mitigate that lack of social distancing or limited social distancing, we are purchasing desk shields for all student desks, and those will be in use in all classrooms. It is basically, it's a plexiglass, kind of like a cubicle. It outlines the front and sides of the desk, and it's just considered a mitigation strategy to help create an extra barrier between students. Also, students would continue to eat breakfast and lunch in the classrooms. Visitors would continue to not be allowed beyond the front office. Our schools have done an excellent job addressing any requests and questions with parents using a service window, doorbells, and really limiting the number of visitors who even have to enter the building. For transportation, we would move to 2 students who are wearing face coverings per seat if necessary. That would only be done if it's necessary. We would always continue to seat all of our siblings together first in a seat, so that might be, 2 or 3 siblings to help reduce having to put more than one student in another seat. We'll continue with transportation changes where we don't allow those so that we can always keep a strong handle of our numbers on our bus routes. We'll continue with daily environmental cleaning and disinfection, high-touch surfaces, deep cleanings in the evenings. Those are all things in place under Plan B. Continue with all of our signage. All of that will be maintained in the buildings, and to encourage people to stay at least 6 feet apart from each other once feasible. We would also move to only 4 days of a traditional face-to-face instruction. So under Plan A, we would go Monday through Thursday face-to-face, and we would maintain our remote learning day on Fridays. So it's also important to note that when we move to Plan A, there will no longer be a Plan B. The only 2 options parents will have will be to move to Plan A or stay or move to HCS online, which is our 100% remote instruction. So questions on what Plan A might look like?
So
please keep in mind it's pre-K-5 that we're making reference to.
Okay, that was my question.
Plan A is for pre-K-5.
That's
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Okay. To be implemented in January 1 or in January?
The goal would be to implement it the first day of the second semester, which would be when we return from winter break.
From Christmas break?
Right. I want to say, Hank, it's January 6th.
No, that's fine. I'm sorry. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, we feel like we need that much time to really plan, organize the desk shields. Roger, have we ordered those yet?
Yes, we were able to locate a vendor who has assured us that we'll have delivery of 4,500 desk shields before December 1st. Those will be delivered to maintenance department to be stored there, and then 1st of December, we will start taking those out to different schools and getting them set up to be ready by the 1st of the year.
And Middle and Hoke Isle remain on Plan B.
That's our intent at this point, yes. Dr. Dallas, share with us how pre-K is a little
Right.
different in terms of...
So
up to this point, pre-K has stayed on Plan B, and it's a little challenging to allow pre-K to go completely online just because of the age appropriateness of the learning that they're required. It's a lot of play and socialization, which does not always lend itself really well to the HCS online. So when we came back to school, Miss Mitchell, she personally contacted all pre-K parents and had that conversation with them about what pre-K would look like. And also did let them know that we will not have a full-time remote option for pre-K. That will be our same protocol that we use when we transition to Plan A. We will work with the schools to reach out to all pre-K parents, making sure that they understand what Plan A looks like and what that will entail for their students. Okay. So we did also release a survey to parents on October 2nd, just trying to really get a feel of what numbers might look like when we do transition to Plan A. So as of yesterday afternoon, we had 912 families respond to the survey. Once again, this would be elementary families. Pretty good representation from each school. Rockfish had 28.8%, which is equates to 251 parents responded to the survey. Sandy Grove Elementary had 103 parents respond. Don Steed had 107. Hawkeye had 37. McLaughlin had 39 families respond. Gerlach had 87 families respond. Upchurch 129, and West Oak 119 families. So pretty good representation from all of our families across the district. Basically, we were asking them, considering their family circumstances and what we shared with them about Plan A, what would be their intent if Hope County Elementary Schools moved to Plan A. We were really curious to see if we would see any type of shift of students. So basically, what we were able to see is really those students or those families that are currently on Plan B, that was 56.7% of the respondents. They feel pretty comfortable moving to Plan A when that happens. That was 495 families responded saying that when the move is made, they will move to Plan A with us. We did have a couple families who are currently on Plan B who decided that if we go to Plan A, they would consider moving to the complete online. And that is your dark orange little section there. And that's actually 35 families said that they might go back to HCS online. The gold section are currently our students who are HCS online that said they're going to come back to Plan A when we make that move. And that was 106 families who have said when we do move to Plan A, they intend on bringing their students back to school. And then the green section, 27.2% of our respondents, they said that they would remain in our HCS 100% online instruction program. So I think the interesting thing here is we do see that we're going to be able to pull some families back when we do move to Plan A. Once again, it's their intent to do that. And there's just a few families that might consider moving back to an HCS online. So just kind of interesting to see the movement. On the next page is just basically by schools. We wanted to kind of see where the numbers were coming from. So if you look at the first column at the top in gray, and I apologize, it's kind of hard to read, but those are students who are currently HCS online who said they would plan to come back to Plan A. So for Don Steed, that's 10 families that they would have come back into the building. For Hawkeye, that would be 10 families. So that basically just shows you the number per school from HCS Online that would come back Plan A. The next column are those families who are currently on Plan B and might consider going completely online if we go to Plan A. And you can see those numbers are smaller, but still wanted to recognize that that's an option that parents will still have. The third column in dark gray is our students who are currently Plan B. They're ready to go Plan A with us, and you can see that's our highest number that was surveyed. And then that fourth dark gray column are those students who will stay online. So once again, I think the biggest piece we were wanting to see is how many parents or families would come back into the building so we could get a sense of what that would look like for our principals. And then the last question we asked was just asking them, if we go Plan A, do you plan on using school transportation? And 40.6% of the respondents said yes, they would consider using the school transportation system. So once again, that'll be something we have to work with transportation on what that looks like. So any questions on the survey results?
Yes. This is Rosa. How long did we give the parents to fill out the survey? What was the length of time? Did we give them a week?
Well, actually, it'll be a little over 2 weeks. We opened it on Friday, October 2nd, and it's still open until this Friday, October 16th.
Okay.
So we had a lot of respondents, like the first 4 or 5 days. I think on Monday we were up to about 700. That was last Monday. It started to slow down a little bit, so now we're at 915 as of this morning. But we will keep that open until this Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Dallas.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Barbara. On the bus riding, the 59.4% and the 40.6%, is that about normal for last year, or do you know?
You know, Ms. Boo, I would not know for sure what the percentage of our bus riders are. We have noticed during Plan B that our bus ridership has gone down, that we have had more parents opt just to transport their own children. But I would not be able to tell you if that's about where we fall in a typical year.
Thank you.
Deborah,
ticket.
once we approve this plan, will each school send out an intent form?
Yes, our plan would be once we would take our next steps would be to have the schools, very similar to how we started the school year. We need the schools to start making contact with parents, making sure they understand what Plan A entails, making sure they understand their options. And we would want to get some level of commitment towards the end of November, if not the very beginning of December, because principals will have to make some arrangements in their building, some adjustments.
Yeah, thank you. That was my question.
Miss Pickett, this is Della. I'm online now.
Hi, Della.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Okay,
Hi, Della.
Hey.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Dallas or anyone about Plan A?
I have one question that's probably not totally relevant, but I'm just wondering if this went out before or after the helpline information.
This went out right a day or two after, I think. I want to say, Ms. Boo, it was right around the same time frame, but I believe this went out on Friday, and I want to say the helpline information might have went out Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday before, or Wednesday or Thursday after?
The Wednesday or Thursday before.
Okay, thank you.
But we will also, though, do another messenger out to our families just as a reminder that it closes on Friday to make sure that they're aware if they have not already done that survey.
Thank you.
Good questions, and that's why we recognize we cannot start this to the second semester. We need that much time to plan, organize bus routes. We don't anticipate moving a lot of teachers around. We're in pretty good shape, classroom size now, and we don't see these additions as creating a problem for the K-3 classroom size mandate, correct?
Right. It should not. I mean, the principals have been doing a really good job managing that up to this point. So when students do come back, they should be in good shape because we've maintained those rosters all the way up to from the beginning of the year.
Great.
So let me give you some information. I had a call on yesterday asking me, which I didn't know, asking me why are we moving back to the classroom in January.
Well, we're providing that choice. It's clear we're not mandating that anyone make that move. The online is still available, but a high percentage of parents have said to us that they do want the child face-to-face. We had to close that face-to-face option of choosing in or out. We cut that off September the 30th, and so we moved from that into this option. But it is just that, an option for parents to choose.
Yeah, I understand that. I just didn't have an answer because I didn't know we were moving.
Well, we're going to ask for your approval in a minute to do that. Yeah, but again, since the governor made that available, and our intent all along has been to get as many students back in the classroom, in the building as possible. Online has its plus and minuses, but over time, it really becomes a negative. Elementary kids really need to be in the building. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, certainly.
Yep.
I agree.
Great. If not, then, Madam Chairman and members, I'm asking your approval to allow us to plan and move to Plan A for elementary. That is pre-K-5. That is 4 days in the classroom and 1 day Friday online to start in January, second semester, please.
Thank you. You've heard the request from the superintendent for permission to move into Plan A for pre-K through 5. May we get a motion on that?
Chairman, I'll make a motion. We move to Plan A, pre-K through 5, beginning the second semester.
Second. Della.
It's been moved by Mr. Richardson and second by Mr. Maynard that we accept the superintendent's recommendation to move into pre-K through 5 for Plan A beginning in January. Are there any questions? If none, we will take a poll.
Hank, aye.
Della, aye.
Barbara?
Barbara, aye.
Rosa, aye. Rosa, aye.
Okay. Opposes none. Our ayes will have it. So it's been approved that we will accept the superintendent's recommendation to move into pre-K through 5, Plan A, beginning in January 2021.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chairman and members. That concludes our action items for this morning.
Okay, we will continue then with our agenda with item 8 on administration. Dr. Williamson.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chairman and members. Information item A is our 2019-2020 NC Pre-K monitoring results. You have that letter. Let me ask Dr. Dallas if you would speak to that, please.
Good morning again. We have great results. We were audited on September 24th by DCDEE, and they basically come into our office areas, and the purpose of their visit is to monitor to make sure that we are in compliance with all of the components of NC Pre-K. Ms. Patsy Stone was our auditor. She came in and we actually turned over several application packets to her, and one of the things she does is she will go through every one of those packets and make sure that we have our eligibility forms, our scorecards, any supporting documentation. She makes sure that it is a complete application packet with everything on file. She also then looks for financial records. She makes sure that we are in compliance there, including ledgers, documentation, payroll, things like that for all of our NC pre-K staff. One of the other things she also looks for is our subcontracts with CDC and Forever Kids to make sure that we have those on file. They also do audit for classroom attendance, which is taken on a monthly basis. So basically, after their day visit, where they go through all of our documentation, they did indicate that we were in compliance with the NC Pre-K requirements and guidance manual, which is great news. And I'd also like to really thank Ms. Liz Mitchell for all of her hard work. She is definitely the kind of person that will cross her T's and dot her I's to make sure that everything that we need is in place. She does an excellent job making sure those things are in place all year long, so we knew we would do well on this audit.
Any questions? I do echo what Dr. Dallas just said in reference to Ms. Mitchell. She is extremely hard worker and does an outstanding job, and she is managing one of the top pre-K programs across the state, and we certainly appreciate that. Item B is our online tutorials, elementary after-school extended learning program. Let me ask Dr. Dallas if you would share with the board that program, when it started and how it's going at this point.
So one of the conversations that we continue to have is how can we continue to extend our learning opportunities for our students because we know what they went through the end of the year and that summer learning loss is how can we continue to accelerate the learning for them. So the fourth week of school, we actually started an evening or after-school virtual tutoring program for 3rd and 4th grade students in reading. And that was actually utilizing some Jump Start money from the summer that we were allowed to set aside for the school year. So we started that the fourth week of school. We have about 140 3rd and 4th grade students who participate in that, and that happens at every school. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're provided interventions in reading. And parents are allowed to sit in, and that's been probably one of our greatest things is having parents a part of that program so that they can continue to support their child. Today, we're actually kicking off our kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 5th grade reading and math tutorials. Once again, those are virtual. They happen in the late afternoon or early evening, depending on different school hours. We are offering synchronous sessions, one for reading and one for math each week. We also are offering asynchronous material, so we recognize some families, certain times may not work for them, and I can't always get into that session that I want to, but we are making available offline and online materials that parents can utilize with their students that are in line with the tutoring sessions and what would be happening during the school day in their classrooms. So each school is kicking that off today. We are providing our EC and EL support as well to go into some of those sessions and provide additional support. And we're excited about it. We think it's a great opportunity for our students. It meets the students' needs and families' needs a little bit better by providing some flexibility of times. And it also really works well for our teachers, allowing them, some of them are able to get home and be able to provide that tutoring from home. And once again, the parent involvement, allowing parents to sit in and ask questions and learn to help support their child has been really beneficial so far.
Any questions? Dr. Dallas, let me ask you, how did we select those teachers who are tutoring for us?
We work with the principals of each school, really works to select staff that have, shown a strong proficiency in remote learning and online instruction and being able to facilitate effective lessons. And we want our high flyers. We want our rock stars out there working with our students and providing that extra support.
And then this is actually money that we had not committed to budget at this point. So I say that to say that our spring tutoring is still in place. They'll use the Title I fund, 69 monies. So this is additional money from the CARES Act, correct?
That's correct. We received COVID money. We received different pots of COVID money, and this one particular pot, like Dr. Dallas said, one of it's Jumpstart that they started with the summer, an allocation there, and then a second pot is COVID money that we received that we could use for tutoring. So it's actually additional money the state has sent us that we're going to use for the tutoring that's going on for both programs right now.
Great. Our real concern of why we're starting the program so early is student engagement online. We have some real concerns about that for whatever reason. Some kids are not engaged, not responding. It is not an issue of technology. We're taking care of that. So we've sent out progress reports. So we have a concern in terms of grading kids and eventually promotion and retention. Speak to that, Dr. Dallas, and then in a minute, Dr. Register will speak to the same issue for secondary.
I think what we're finding with the online instruction is students are struggling with basically showing up to class each day and staying engaged during those synchronous sessions. Some of the time they're having a hard time getting their work turned in, and it makes it challenging for teachers to kind of continue to follow up with students. We want to make sure that our students are submitting the work. That is part of grading, right, is we have to have some of those work samples and products so that we can determine whether a student has mastered something. So that is something that we continue to work with, is really encouraging students to check in, make sure that they are participating in class, submitting their assignments, because like Dr. Williamson said, that all leads into grading. And at the end of the day, all students are being held to the same standard when it comes to accountability, when it comes to grading. They will all be taking the end of grade. So we definitely have a strong push to make sure that our students are working up to the best of their ability, and at the same time, we're going to continue to give them opportunities that we really need them to take advantage of.
Any questions on the elementary tutoring program?
I just have one question, Dr. Williamson. What about the middle school? Do we have anything for the middle school for tutoring? And
we
high
do.
School?
We do.
Okay.
Dr. Register will speak to that next.
Okay, she will speak to that, okay.
Yes.
But, I would just say, thank you all so much for the tutoring for our elementary students, because that was one concern that I, had heard from some parents. These children are not as attentive at home with those parents. A lot of parents are having problems with their own children,
right.
Trying to get them focused and to get them to do the work. And one lady was saying, what can I do? I can't make them get up in the morning on time and da-da-da. So, they're beginning to see what they accuse our teachers of many times. These children are home with them, and they cannot get those children attention or to do what they're supposed to do all the time. So to hear you say that you are offering tutoring, that's excellent. So some of the parents really need some help with that. But thank you so much for what you are doing. And if they get a chance now to know what teachers go through in classrooms trying to keep students' attention as well. So I just wanted to say that.
Great.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dallas.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited that we don't have to wait till the spring to provide tutoring, and the funding allow that opportunity. It really takes away every excuse, and it really helps administrators and teachers when we have to make that final decision about grading and promotion and retention. Mm-hmm. We're going to be able to say the board provided every opportunity through this. Great, thank you.
That's true. That's true. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, any other questions on elementary? If not, let me ask Dr. Register if you'll talk with us about the secondary helpline and tutoring, please.
Yes, I want to say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In your on the platform or in your notes, you should have a handout that gave you an overview of what we call the HCS After School Academic Helpline. And so within that, we're calling it After School Mastery Program, but it's actually a tutoring program as well as a mastery, because we try to focus on those major and essential standards that students need to master for the current grade level, as well as looking back to see what was some of those learning gaps from last school year. So we actually launched this program on October the 5th. And in your handout, you can see that the structure is where middle school, we operate from 5 to 7 p.m. and that's Monday through Thursday. And then for high school, it's from 6 to 8 p.m. for the high school students. Now, the intent is not for students, of course, to stay online for the duration of 2 hours, but they do have several sessions that they can jump in and to get some help. They can get help, like I said, on their current standards, which is some of their classwork and homework, as well as teachers are looking at those major or essential standards that they need to, that students will need to master for those courses. Now, the way we kind of outline our services for students, we do have a college and career readiness. And under that, students can access a helpline for ACT prep. So that's looking at the ACT, SAT, work keys, any college or career assessment that students will have to take. We have a helpline to assist with that, as well as we have a helpline that's actually called College and Career Readiness. And this is to have counselors there. We do recognize the social and emotional learning of students. So they're there to talk about stress management skills, time management, also to reach out. They also will reach out to students that need more support when it comes to attendance, to find out why they're not coming and things of that sort. So we have that helpline to help. Then we have some services called content area. And under the content area, that's where our helplines for English, math, science, and social studies. And of course, with math, we kind of broke that down to our math 1 and 2, and then math 3 and 4. And then the same will go forth with our science. Then we have specialized services where we really had a special focus on exceptional children support. We wanted to make sure with that subgroup that we're reaching those students, and then our English learners support. So with that, we want to reach out, make phone calls to those students and have them to come and take advantage of this tutoring and this intervention. And so at this time, we open it up to all students that can take advantage of these services. But then at the same time, we have asked teachers to intentionally target students that definitely need some extra support in these areas. I did ask Ms. McLeod to join us at the board meeting so she can give insight from the principal's perspective in terms of the helpline. I do want to say last week, we had a total of about 400, I want to say it was 460 plus students who have accessed our helpline last week. And we have a little competition going on with secondary. And Ms. McLeod, she won last week with her attendance. She had about 170 students that actually accessed the services for last week. So Ms. McLeod, would you want to speak?
Sure. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm very excited about our helpline that we have in place, and so are the teachers. We need to do everything possible to reach our children and to make sure that they participate in their academics. And that has been a struggle with the virtual learning. We have several teachers that participate in the program, not just one in one particular area, because we definitely do not want teacher burnout. And so we're rotating through this program because at the secondary middle school level, we are doing it 4 days a week. And so every student has the opportunity to participate. Telephone message are still going home weekly to remind parents of the program. We have teachers and administration and support staff. We're still continuously contacting parents constantly as we're looking at grades to get their children to participate in the program. And it's all children. We focusing on our EC population as well as our ESL population and our general population to get students this help that they definitely need. And I'm going to piggyback on what Dr. Dallas said earlier. The parents love the program, those who are participating. We just need more parents to participate. What I'm hearing from parents is that I'm off work and now I get to sit in here and I can help my child and I can sit and listen myself. And that's what I think that's very beneficial for parents to be able to do that. And Ms. Pickett, I like what you said about parents are getting experience that we've always got as educators. But it's very important that this word gets out there to everybody. And every time I have a conversation with a parent, I don't care if they just call them to check on buses. I'm talking about our after school helpline program to make sure that their child is participating. So it's a great program. Again, I don't want teacher burnout. That's why we're rotating teachers in and out of the program because next semester, second semester, it's going to be important that we keep this up at the same quality that we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do
That's
want
true.
Yeah, and I do want to add, I did also include in for your review a handbook that was shared with schools and with parents and students, and it's online for them.
And one other thing I wanted to add also, Dr. Register, is that the way the program runs at West Hope Middle, the students can participate in 2 sessions from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We have 30-minute sessions, not to try to use up all the students' Wi-Fi, that they can come on for 30-minute lessons, instructional lessons for their tutoring. And then the second hour from 5 to 6, that is our homework line, where the students can log on with the teachers in all subject areas and get assistance with their login. As Dr. Dallas, you spoke earlier in regards to students not doing their work and having zeros on their grade book. This is their opportunity to get rid of those zeros and get some help from the teachers to help complete some of these assignments.
And then, and let me also add that we have highly encouraged teachers to ensure that they are engaging students with different activities, wanting to make learning fun as they do those mastery little mini lessons. And so what we have done, we're in the process of uploading those lessons on our CNI website so that all students and other teachers in the district will have access to various activities for different content area and topics and concepts. Any questions?
I want to ask a question of Dr. Register, of you and Dr. Dallas. Affiliation with SREB and all of that work in terms of lesson design, designing tasks, is paying off for us at this point?
Yeah, I feel like the shift has been to help students think through problems and problem solving as opposed to just giving students rote problems. We're actually helping kids go through a process to problem solve. And that's actually a process that really lends itself to reading and math. But I think the difference is trying to teach students how to think and process and understand why they're doing something as opposed to just do this and you'll get the answer. And I think that's been a huge shift that our teachers have had over the last couple of years through the work with SREB is helping students really help facilitate their own learning and understanding as opposed to just cranking out answers for the sake of that.
Yes, and I would like to add with that also the value of that face-to-face. And so there's an understanding with teachers in terms of we have to dig deeper when we are face to face versus like Dr. Dallas had mentioned in terms of giving just rote problems to do. Kids can practice at home. Now they have the helpline to help with that. But when they come face to face with that teacher or they're online with that teacher, that's the time that we will dig deeper in terms of our literacy-based assignments and really taking apart texts. So yes, that has been a great help.
I would mention that we're paying those teachers for their time.
Yeah.
Thankful to be able to do that. And then, Dr. Ramsey, let me ask you, to our knowledge, all the technology, the digital, the hotspots, students have those in place so they're able to connect to the tutorial, correct?
Yeah, actually, we just literally last night received notification that the brand new hotspots that we received from Verizon from the Governor Plan just went live. So those are actually being issued today. We did have a few students that did not have those. So those will be going out this week. Literally just got that email last night. We are waiting for them to go live. Those will have unlimited data on them and so afford our students access. And then that will also give us the opportunity for those families who may have been struggling with data limits that will be able to accommodate them if they have multiple children with more than one hotspot, should that be needed.
Great. Any questions?
Yeah, Dr. Williamson, I'd just like to say our learning opportunities for our students are certainly wonderful. But during the instructional day, while the students are online, how are we monitoring attendance?
Okay.
So from the teacher's perspective, actually when they're in a synchronous session, they are actually checking that students are in the class, in the virtual classroom. They continue to monitor through the chat room and participation that they're staying active and they're staying in the class. Another part of our attendance, though, is also the completion of work. So when it's an asynchronous session, so let's say it's a Plan B student and on Monday they're at home working remotely, part of their attendance is actually checking into their coursework and completing their coursework. That is part of attendance on those remote days.
And we give them up to 11:59
p.m.
to check in and get credit for the day.
Right. So just in case there's some type of family situation where maybe I can't access that material during the day, we've made it very flexible for families to do it at the time that works for their schedule the best. So as long as it is in by the end of the day, then it is counted as an attendance and it is submitted.
Thank you.
I also like that all the middle school and high school students are welcome to participate in the helpline session. That's a really good thing, and I hope we encourage that every day.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And then, Dr. Owens, we're still requiring that those attendance letters at 3, 6, and 10 days go out by way of our attendance counselors, and correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. And they are also following up with those students who may not be online and collaborating with the teachers in the building. The majority of the schools, they do have an attendance team. So everyone is working together to try to identify why that student may not be connecting online.
I don't know if y'all heard my comment. Did y'all hear my comment?
Yes.
I said, did you hear my comment?
Yes.
About the middle school and the high school, everybody being able to participate?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't know if you heard me or not.
Yes. Dr. Register.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, I have a question. I would like to ask you about a tutoring program, or since you're talking about tutoring at the high school, are you familiar with NC Europe program at the high school?
NC Europe?
Yes.
No, ma'am. But I will follow up with that.
I will. Yes, I would appreciate it. But listen, I think it's a program they have in the CTE program department from Sand Hills.
Okay.
From Sand Hills, it's a program. It's some type of tutoring program. I was not familiar with it either until I heard about it last night.
Oh, okay.
And they have a young man that's working, they say, with seniors, with tutoring, you know, those seniors that are behind and so forth. And she thought I was aware of because she said, "Oh, Miss Pickett knows what I'm talking about." I just looked at it. I didn't say anything, you know. But I would definitely ask someone today.
Okay.
You know, what is he talking about? When they say North Carolina, Europe, it's a tutoring program she says they have with the high school.
Okay, and I will follow up with that.
Okay.
Get that information with you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Any other comments?
I appreciate all that you all are doing. I really do appreciate everything that you all are doing with our students to ensure that they are successful while they're out and while they're going through the trying times that they're going through as well. Thank you so much.
So item number D is your monthly financial report, and if you have any questions, if you would direct them to the award-winning Chief Finance Officer, Ms. Juanette Chavin. Madam Chairman and members, that concludes our information items for this morning.
Thank you so much. And really today, I want to get this right. May we get a motion to go into closed session at this time?
Madam Chair, I move that we go into closed session as provided by the General Statutes of North Carolina.
I second. Rosa.
It's been moved by Della Maynor and second by Rose McCray that we would go into closed session at this time as provided by the statutes listed. Are there any questions? All in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye. And I say aye.
Aye. Della, aye.
Barbara, aye.
Nay. Okay.
Rosa, aye.
Ayes have it. Okay. Ayes have it. So we will now go into closed session, and I will give it over to Dr. Ramsey for getting us where we should be.
Great. I'll go ahead and open up the breakout room.
They need, Carolyn and just the board members need to talk.
Okay,
So I need everybody besides a board member and Carolyn back into the main session.
okay, so everybody besides the board members
Board members stay in that room.
and then move
And
you.
we need to come out. You won't be able to hear it.
I don't know what I just did with you. I did something with you and I have no idea where. I think I put you in room 2. You're gonna have to move yourself. I can't. Hold on. I can't move you.
I can just leave. No, I just leave the room.
Yeah, I'll put register in 2. Donna in 2.
So then be on the lookout for another thing so I can tell you to put us back together.
Okay, I kicked you. You're all in room 2. I can't put you in the main room. You can leave to go to the main room because you're on a computer.
So I need to tell Irish though that's good. Am I still in that room and then I need to leave?
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not in that room. Only board members
So
and
can
Carolyn
you go
and
back?
Dr. Williamson. Or no,
So Dr. Williamson can tell him he's good and then.
he's not supposed to be in there.
Right.
Okay, I'm moving him to 2.
And now I need to tell them that they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
How will I know?
Is he not still in there?
Yeah.
Or,
Just told him to come out.
no, but he can. You not just peek in and tell him they're good.
Don't put Dr. Williamson in the room with the board members. He's trying to call in though. So don't let, he should go in where they.
Hello?
Hello?
Is anyone there?
Carolyn, I'm not sure how you got out, but I'm going to move you back.
No. I pushed the little leave the meeting. So if we're done, and if you could bring everyone else back.
Oh, I was understanding they're going back to close. They're going back to open.
Coming back to open.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I'll fix that.
Thank you. Thank you. We're back into open session. And now I will give it to Superintendent.
I'm not sure everyone's here quite yet.
Okay. We are now back in open session.
We should be.
Dr. Williamson?
He's muted. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we can help him get unmuted.
Okay.
Gonna run over there.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Dr. Williamson?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I wish I had thought about that great line. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, now we're back in the open session, and I will turn it over to Dr. Williamson.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chairman and members. I am requesting approval of personnel action items 1, 2, and 3, as was shared with you by Dr. Thomas, please.
You heard a request from the superintendent for the approval of action items 1 through 3 as shared with us by Dr. Thomas. May we get a motion on that?
Ms. Pickett, this is Rosa. I move that we approve action items 1, 2, and 3 as explained by Dr. Donna Thomas.
Second, Della.
It's been moved by Ms. Rosa McCausland-McCray and second by Ms. Della Mena that we approve personnel action items 1 through 3 as shared by Dr. Thomas. Are there any questions? All in favor, let's take a poll and say aye. And I will begin with aye.
I'm sorry. Hank, aye.
Barbara,
Della, aye.
Rosa, aye.
Ayes have it, so the action items have been approved.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Madam Chairman and members, for the superintendent's report, let me ask Dr. Owens to bring you up to speed where we are with COVID-19 in our buildings. You should have a chart on your screen.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Owens?
Yes, okay. Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Superintendent, and members of the board. What you have, the first thing that we're going to look at is what you have before you. This is a form that we refer to from the state. It's called our isolation tracking form that the school nurses have to keep data in terms of the number of students that screen daily. And so the data that we're providing for you this morning represents August through September. So as you can see, we have had over 4,000 students that we've screened in person. The second column, the number of students sent home due to positive screening response, what that represents and means that these were students who were placed in our safe room due to a temperature or due to symptoms. And you can see that number, a total of 95. And then the final column represents the number of students confirmed or presumptive COVID cases. These are students where they are not in the building, but the parents have called to let us know that these students have been exposed, or perhaps in the majority of the cases, it's the parents who have been exposed to someone, or they have tested positive, or a family member may have tested positive. So that's what that last column represents. Are there any questions?
So Dr. Owen, to date, we still have just that one employee who was positive and in the building, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And we have 2 students at Rockfish that was in the building on Wednesday evening, got tested, and they were positive.
Yes, that is correct, sir.
And so we did close those 2 classrooms, kindergarten and pre-K, if I remember.
That is correct.
Kindergarten, first grade, siblings to do that.
Kindergarten and first grade. And the principal.
What school was that? Excuse me, what school was that?
Rockfish.
Okay, thank you.
And the principal made personal phone calls to the parent students in that classroom, to their parents in those classrooms. But there has not been any report of anyone, exhibiting symptoms or anything of that nature. And we were also in collaboration with our Hope County Health Director. So with that said, that's the data. In terms of where we are now, we are still remaining very vigilant, following our protocols and processes that we have in place. Our school nurses are doing a really good job in terms of informing parents of the protocol and also educating them as they call. And of course, you know, this calls for a collaborative effort. So our school administrators and our school nurses are working together to ensure the safety of our students.
Great, thank you. Thanks to the good Lord, we're doing well.
Amen.
Telling you. Any questions on that information?
I just noticed when here not open to students on Turlington, are they all online? Is that what they're doing?
Actually, some are online, some are face-to-face back in the building. That's right, but what actually happened that helped us to make that decision, I think we only had about 3 or 4 kids that would have been at Turlington in the fall, and so and we deployed those teachers in the various buildings, but we only had 3 or 4 kids, so we didn't think it was good management to operate that building with 3 or 4 kids.
Then what about the principal and the staff? Where are they?
The staff are deployed in the various buildings, either the middle school or the high school, and we have them at both sites at Hoke High and San Hoke, and then at all 3 middle schools. And elementary, have some doing PE for us at elementary. So they're placed at different sites.
What about the principal?
The principal is, he's in the buildings monitoring, and we still have that school open, planning for the fall.
Okay.
On that, but he's helping Bob in the building and monitoring our procedures every day. Anything else? Let's pray that our numbers continue to stay low and that we can have school every day for kids. But that is all that I have. Thank you.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I wanted just to, if you don't mind, I don't know if it's the appropriate time, but just to follow up with what Ms. Pickett had mentioned about the Sand Hills Community College.
Yes.
Sand Hills had received a North Carolina Gear Up grant. And with that, I just spoke with Ms. Corte, who's the vice president of the Continuing Education and Workforce Development at Sand Hills. And she was saying through that grant, they are able to hire a full-time person who can help support students in getting resources, help with advising students. And so that person, they just hired them and they're going through the process of getting acclimated as a Sand Hills Community College employee. And then she was saying she would sit down with myself and Baldwin to talk about that position and how they can better support Hoke County High School and San Hoke Early College. So that position is not a separate tutoring component.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, because I know I met the young man last night. I saw him, but I didn't say anything, you know. I just like I knew it was already there. They were already doing it.
Well, let me say this, Miss Pickett, you hot on the press. You got it hot off the press because
I just got it hot. Surely did. It was hot.
It was hot because she said she had intended to email us to let us know about this new position.
Okay.
So for clarification, that is for continuing ed classes.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I wanted to ask.
Well, when I spoke with her, she was saying that was for all the CCP classes. So for students taking college classes, that
So
this person
credit.
will help support.
Okay, so dual credit classes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Williamson, I think that might be the young man that's in my department, student services.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's with Jonathan Garrison, which is part of the Sand Hills Promise.
She could not remember the young man's name, I guess because he's so new. But yes,
Yeah,
she
he
said
just
she
started.
will
His
follow
last
up with
name is
email.
Quick. Yeah, his last name is
Ma'am?
Quick, but I don't. I said his last name is Quick, but I don't remember his. I hadn't been over there to meet him. So
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
That is all that I have. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all Dr. Wilson has. So now we're with our next meeting, which will be in November. Dr. Williamson and the rest of you all. So our next meeting is scheduled for November the 10th. For November the 10th, we have that in person.
We will. That is our intent. If you remember, we said that we would be online for this month, but November would be face-to-face. We do want to recognize Mr. Richard, his service time as a board member.
Yes. Okay.
So we will be at Hoke High in the Media Center.
Okay.
6:30, yes.
Okay. 6:30, yes. Okay.
And as we say, we have something to eat.
Yes, okay.
Hey!
Well,
I think virtual.
Maybe get... Say what, Mr. Richard?
I'm okay with virtual meeting.
Well, we want to see you before you leave.
Okay, thank you.
We want to see you before
Yes,
you
we
leave.
do.
Is that okay? Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Okay, we want to see you before you leave. So
Thank you.
Yes, you do, sweetheart.
Okay. We're gonna look forward. We're gonna look forward to in person
No,
at
my goodness.
6:30, November 10th. Nothing happened, Lord's willing. May we get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. If we could get a second, and then I just have one comment to make.
Okay, may we get a second?
Second, Della.
Okay.
So in deciding how you want to structure your meeting that will be in person and live to the public, some boards are opening it up to as many people as you like, but you are not required to do that. You can keep your numbers for the total number of people in the board meeting to 25. And that may provide you with a lot of space so you can really spread yourselves out, as well as the people on staff would be there. I think when Wake County just had their first meeting live, and they've completely taken up a lot. Each board member has their own little table, and they reserve 5 slots for the public only. And we do have some procedures in place if you're interested in trying to do something along those lines. Now, of course, you can bring more people in, but that's not a requirement of the protocols. So I'm happy to talk with anyone about options.
You and I can talk about that, and then I will follow up with the board members.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Wilson, you do that. Talk to her, and then you follow up with us.
I will do it.
Okay, may I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
it's Barbara.
Yes.
I think that when we're counting heads, we need to ask Hank how many people he might want to invite and give him first preference of the number that we can invite.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm saying if we can only invite 25 and Hank has 15 people, that means we can only bring 10 of the public in.
Hank won't have a whole lot. Thank you. You're kind. I appreciate everything. I really do. And
Mr. Richard, we're going beyond your service on the board, and I was recognizing you. You have what total years of service? 51, maybe.
Yeah, at least something like. Yeah, I think I had 38 and 16, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I really don't know, Dr. Williamson. I do know I started in here in 1967. I do know that, and I think I retired. I believe I was retired maybe 1 or 2 years before I became a board member.
Yeah, if our math is right, it's a total of 53 years.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, that's outstanding. So we certainly want to recognize.
My map is
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And Hank,
Yes.
if you were retired a few years, my mind serves me that you never retired from giving your money to literacy. So we're about to count those 2 years.
I tried to support it. I just got my envelope yesterday.
I know you did in the past. I don't keep up with it anymore. So you have your 53 years.
Well, thank you. I've
That's
really,
wonderful, Hank.
I really enjoyed every minute of it. I sure have. I'm going to miss
I'm going to miss you. Everybody's going to miss you.
Yep.
I'm going to miss
Hank
the
has 54
but I know
years,
I've done the right thing.
Yes. Hank has 54 years.
Time for someone else to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just so thankful that, I had the opportunity to work with a great board members and a wonderful superintendent.
Yes.
Okay, so we look forward to our next meeting on the 10th, and as we said,
I'll get with Dr. Williamson and talk to him about, if I really need to invite someone else or whatever. Okay?
Okay.
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 I appreciate
All right.
appreciate everything greatly.
Yes. All in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Hank,
Aye.
Aye, Barbara.
Aye. Ayes have
Aye,
it. So
Della.
our meetings have, ayes have it. So our meeting has been adjourned to November the 10th, 6:30 p.m., Polk County High School. Good morning. Good morning.
Great. Great.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thanks to everyone. Good meeting. Thank you.
Love you, Hank. I love everybody.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
You too,
week.
Della.
Safe.
Yes, yes.
Yes, stay safe and well. God bless you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rosa.